going, everybody? My name is Danny Rose here at Scholar TV. I am joined by Fisher Reeves. He is our VP of Professional Development. And we are talking with Brad Mcdonald. He is with Career Development here at Full Sail. How's it going, guys?
Good. Thank you for asking. Thanks for having me today.
I'm doing good, D Rose.
Awesome. So first thing I want to do, Mr. McDonald, just give us a little bit of background about you, introduce yourself and what brought you to Full Sail.
Sure. Please call me Brad. I am the Associate Director of Career Development. I've been here about 5 years. I came from another school in Atlanta, Georgia that taught some of the same audio programs, a school called SAE Institute. And, I came from the music business before that, and education was a big change. I really didn't know what to expect, but I knew I loved working with interns at the studio where I worked, and thought there might be something there for me, and ended up getting into education and loved it. Didn't really, again, know what to expect, didn't see that as a career path, but fell in love with the education space, fell in love with career development, helping students, grads get to that next place, especially in something like the music business, where it can be difficult to understand how that business works and to really get a foothold. So it felt really good to help students and grads make that transition. And I fell in love with that. And I had some friends who were Full Sail grads that said, look, if you really think you want to do this, you should go work at Full Sail. So I contacted Dory Rice, who is now the director, who at the time was the associate director here, and Tammy Elliott, who was the director, who is now the president of LA Film School. And I said, hey, what do you think about me coming to work for y'all? And I came to visit and just fell in love with the place. I've spent most of my life as a musician and as someone who worked in the music business and music production and film production environments, right? And to come on this campus was just like, I was like, I can't believe students have access to this. Like, this is mind blowing. This is so cool. So I'm so glad they hired me, because I probably would have had to enroll if they didn't. So picked up and moved from Atlanta to here. And it's been amazing. I kept waiting for everyone to stop being so nice, and that never happened. Like, it's incredible. Both our partners in education and everybody here in career development is really. I'm not saying that we're able to get all the things we want to get done all the time, but everybody comes to work every day with a mind and heart to help our students and grads, which feels really good.
That's awesome. So the I hear different things about career development. Sometimes when I was down at for Hall of Fame, some of the people that would speak, some of the people doing the seminars or whatnot, would say, I came to Full Sail because I found that they had a career development department to help us get jobs and whatnot after school. And then sometimes, like I was trying to ask for questions for this interview, and people were like, what's career development? So it's like,
welcome to my world.
It's both. Yeah. It's like, some people are all about it, and then other people, they don't even know what it is. So I thought it was really important to sit down with you, especially for our scholars, because I know I'm not the only one who's kind of afraid for graduation, and I don't really know what's going to happen and what the process is and all of that. So our first question for you is, what is the top 3 questions that you get from students approaching graduation?
Well, before I get into that, and I'm happy to address that, I just want to address a little bit of what you just said. And I totally understand. With our accelerated programs here, we're essentially shooting you guys out of a rocket, for 20 months. And occasionally somebody will hold up a poster board like, don't forget about career dev, like go to career dev. and you're in the middle of 100 projects and you got a million things going on and all of them are important. And you have the best intentions, right? You're like, I'm going to get over there, I'm going to make an appointment, or I'm going to go for open door. And it just always doesn't happen as, to plan. And we're trying to find out more ways to work with education to kind of get embedded in the program, if you will. So we have more touch points with y'all, even if y'all don't come to us, right? I think the overwhelming thing, I mean, the questions that you can imagine, is how to create a relevant resume for the workforce, how to really properly job search, how to learn to job search. But I think most of the students that come to me, it's not even just a question. Well, I guess it is a question of where do I start, right? Like it's so overwhelming and it's different across all of our halos. Like for you, for a music production grad, it's going to be very different from someone who's in IT or gaming. But it's still just like, it's so overwhelming. You still got school projects going on. You're trying to start to consider that transition out of school, out into the workforce. And you may even be doing some projects. You're probably already freelancing a little bit and just trying to figure out, what those next steps are. So the resume is important, but I don't want to put so much weight on that I just overwhelm somebody. That's important. The job search thing is important. And again, there's not a one size fits all answer to that because it's going to be very different for all of our programs. For film or audio, that looks very different than what it looks like for game development. So we're fortunate here to have different teams who work with all those different grads, who work with all the different programs. And then a lot of our advisors have worked in the field, so they can actually give you some relevant information about getting out there and getting to work, as opposed to my old timey, advice that I would share. So those things are really important. The only thing that I would dwell on there, the resume, the perspective has changed so much just in the time that I've been here. When I was out job searching, you could have a resume and you have that be your resume and send it out. And you, if it was a good resume, you were good. Nowadays, especially with applicant tracking systems, companies just want to know what you can do for them and if you're a fit for the opportunity. So y'all really are the generation that's going to have to change your resume a little bit for so many of the opportunities that you're applying for. And we say that again and again, and it's a drag to ask you to make those changes all the time. But it's a bigger drag when you're not getting called back for any of the, all of the jobs that you're applying for. So that is something that, that's changed, that parents don't really understand. A lot of folks that worked on a resume with a high school guidance counselor don't understand, but it's real and it's important. So I want to make sure I share that with all of you today.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, and I wanted to piggyback off of something that you said earlier about, how accelerated our programs are and how fast you go in and you quickly get out in the same sentence. At what point do students need to start talking to creative development? I feel like some people sometimes, once they find out about your department, at that point it's maybe too late. So at what point do you think would be the best case for you to
It's never too late. And I'm glad you framed it like that, because you have our services for life. Mm-hmm. We know that every student grad is a little bit different. Like some folks have responsibilities outside of school. They can't jump right into their career. Some people are working before they even get here. So everybody's on a slightly different path. And we want to just allow for that and be open to that and kind of work with everybody on their timetable. But our hope is that everyone does work with us. I would love it if folks were aware, off the rip, we're speaking at orientation now. So hopefully folks are aware that we're here. Right now, our open door hours are on Wednesday, 11 to 2. That happens on campus. It also happens on Zoom. So folks can come in whenever. We are also trying to be open to making ourselves available for whenever anyone comes in or calls on the phone, just to be able to help. We might have to schedule an appointment for later, might have to get more in depth at another time, but maybe you need resume help for a survival job you've got to interview for, tomorrow. Whatever you need, we want to try to assist. We want to be helpful. So the earlier the better. And that doesn't always mean coming to career development. If you are, let's just say you're a music business student, or a game dev student, to start thinking about the companies where you would like to work, to start thinking about the opportunities that you're interested in and start researching those career paths, and to be an active partner. We have so many students that come to us who are like, I'll take whatever, I'll do whatever. And it's good to know that you're that flexible and open to opportunities, but where do you want to work and what do you want to do? Like, that will help us so much with reaching out to companies on your behalf, with letting you know about opportunities that are currently available. If we know what you're open to doing and what you want to do, it's much easier to help. I mean, it's good. It's always good to know that people are flexible and will get out there and do whatever. And that's important. It's good to start thinking and talking about internships. I know that financially is difficult for some of our students, and I want to, be open to that. But there are so many great internships that we have seen lead to employment time and time again. Like those rates, of those internships becoming those entry-level positions, those are very high in some industries, and we want to encourage and even find ways to support our students that are looking for and taking those opportunities. So that's important. But we do have open door every week. We have events. You mentioned Hall of Fame. That's a great place to interact, although it's just once a year with career dev. I would point you to the alumni site right now. The alumni team has been doing mixers like bi-weekly, monthly. They've been doing them regionally, but you can jump in as a student or grad to any of the regions. You don't have to live in Atlanta to be in the Atlanta mixer. Maybe you just want to think about, moving to Atlanta after school. So you could attend the Atlanta mixer. And they're also starting to do Halo specific ones. Like I think, I can't remember. I'm sorry. I can't remember off the top of my head when the film one is, but it's coming up in the next couple of weeks. And it's going to be an amazing opportunity for all our film students and grads to interact with each other. They're going to have, I think, different rooms in the Zoom for every different gig. And that will include some of our audio folks too. If you do sound for picture, or if you're interested in composing for films, those folks will be included too. So, you can jump in and start to meet alumni and really network from the time you're starting here.
That's awesome. And you mentioned, speaking of networking, building relationships is, I feel, the most important thing while we're in school, aside from our coursework. How important is it to find ways to work with other students while we're in school, extracurricular?
I think you just said it all. I think that's one of the most important things at orientation every month. I try to let students know this is should be this amazing time for y'all to all get together and work together, right? Just live here as much as you're able. I know everybody has other responsibilities, but the networking, learning how to work as a team on projects, learning some leadership skills, getting real world experience, maybe finding out that you love working in film as a music production student, maybe seeing some other roads that you might want to go down, and just getting some experience working as a team, working with other folks. I think that, and networking, meeting people. I remember an engineer working in Atlanta, and he works on some big projects. I won't say his name. It's not it's not Leslie, but it's another guy. He's like, I wish I'd have stayed in touch with all my Full Sail classmates, because so many of them ended up doing big things. And now if I reach out, I just look like I want something. I had all these opportunities to stay in touch and I didn't. And now I'm just going to be like, hey, remember me? Like, I know you're working on all this big stuff. Like, don't forget about me. And there's never a bad time to reach out, but this is a great time. Networking is going to be so important no matter what field you're in. And to be able to do that here on campus, and possibly online, to meet people with the same interests who are as cool as you, working on other cool stuff that you can help them with, and they can help you on your projects. I think that's almost as important as classwork. And we can really draw some lines. I wish I had some hard data. I don't, but our students that are more engaged and involved while they're here are simply more successful after school. Those skills absolutely transition after graduation.
Absolutely. Yeah, and when I was down at Hall of Fame, it was so easy to talk to people. Everybody was so, like you said, in the beginning of this interview, everybody's so friendly, and will just talk to you. I have a little bit of a social anxiety issue, but it all kind of went away when I went down there, because everybody's so inviting. Everybody's very inviting.
Yeah, I think, beyond even Full Sail, with the fields that we're working in, people who are good at these things, they generally are happy to share how they got to where they got, what they did in school or what they did after school to get them where they are now. They want to be that voice in your head that you hear after graduation. There's so many great stories. In fact, we're trying to string a lot of the Hall of Fame stuff and the presentation stuff together and just kind of play it in our lobby all the time, just for nonstop inspiration. Because those stories, and it's from Hall of Famers, but it's also from new graduates who just got their first job working in the field, just to share that experience with everyone else. There's so much goodness there, and there's so much value to those stories.
Right. Oh, it really is. I learned a lot when I came down. So we're going to take a short break for some announcements, and I'll be right back. We'll be right back with Brad McDonald here at Scholar TV. Hi, guys. So today we are all coming together to show our support for NAMI. NAMI is the National Alliance on Mental Illness, and they are a great organization that does a lot of good for a lot of people. Mental health awareness is something that's really near and dear to my own heart, as I have struggled with social anxiety for most of my life. I have one of the ways that I have found to deal with my own stress levels, my own anxiety, is to get away from everything. So I've decided to show my support today by coming out and hiking some trails out in my state park here in South Carolina. So that's what I'm going to be doing to show my support today. And I look forward to seeing all of you guys show your support in your own way as well. That's all I have for you today. All right, guys, we're back here with Mr. Brad McDonald from Career Development. Mr. McDonald, we are the National Society for Collegiate Scholars. We're an honor society here at Full Sail. Do you have any experience working with scholars in particular? And what kind of benefit do you feel that groups like ours offer?
Right after, I wasn't aware that we had a chapter here, and I had only been here a few months. And at the time, I'm sorry, I can't remember the young lady's name. She called and asked if she could bring the club up to career development for a meeting. And we had a meeting. I think we had about 10 students come through, and they were all super sharp and asked great questions, and it was wonderful to interact. And I do find a tremendous benefit to groups like yours existing and coming to career dev. I mean, I think that to be able to show that kind of leadership, to build that sort of group teamwork, I think, I'm sure all of y'all are constantly cheering, supporting each other, and helping each other with projects, keeping y'all at that scholar level of that 3.0 and above. I think just working with others like that just bodes well for your future, no matter what you're going to do, whether it's full sale, entertainment business, gaming related, or at anywhere in life. That learning to work together like that and working in a group like that, and then working independently like that, and taking that kind of pride and putting that kind of detail in to keep those grades where they are, with everything, like we were talking earlier, Fisher, everything that's coming your way all of the time. I think there's incredible value there, and I think a lot of employers see that too.
Yeah, I mean, I think it is really important to have these clubs, these extracurricular activities, not only for students to network with each other and work with each other, but like you said, I mean, this is a team environment that we're working on, and we're going to carry that into the future, into our fields. So that's really important, I think. I'm just curious, are you guys experiencing a drop in student engagement in your department, since COVID? And if so, how do you combat that? And what would you like our students to know about what you do at career development?
Wow, those are all really good questions, and I'll try to walk through this, and I hope I don't. Y'all might have to just shut me down at some point and tell me that's enough information. Um, you know, Career development is not mandatory here at Full Sail. So as much as I wish that it was, again, I know we've got folks that are already working out there, and folks that that by the time they finish, they're not even interested in pursuing that career anymore. It comes from all ends of the spectrum. Um, I have not really noticed a drop in student engagement. Our appointments are still very high. I think the career readiness class that's in place now has been really helpful, and has sent a lot of business our way. But I'm not really happy with the level of student engagement that we already had. I would like for it to be much higher than 40 or 50%, and would like to see that number climb. And I think there are a bunch of reasons for that. All the reasons that we talked about: the speed of the programs, the fact that so many of our online students are already working in something else, and I know that's a huge transition to go from that regular day job to go out and pursue a film in gaming or film, or there's many reasons as there are students and grads. But I would love to get that engagement higher. And part of that is on us. As much as I want everyone to come here and visit us or get on CareerSync, and I'll talk more about CareerSync, we don't have a lot of self-service available to y'all right now. It's kind of like you're coming to career development, or you're getting on CareerSync, and that's pretty much it. If you want to work on your resume in the middle of the night one night after labs, good luck. You're probably going to have to do it with resources other than Full Sail resources, which is not fair and it's not right. And we're working to fix that. Y'all should have resources around the clock, just like you have class and lab work around the clock. There should be more self-service for y'all. Now there is CareerSync, and I hope everybody's engaged. You can get in from the time that you're in school and start to see events You won't be assigned an advisor or be able to see jobs till you get closer to graduation. Right now, that's set at 90 days. And then you kind of get the keys to the castle. Um, there's no reason we can't work on your resume before then. There's no reason you can't be ready to hit the ground when you get into those jobs in Career Sync. And, we have, I think, we have one of the largest career development departments in the country, more than a lot of, state schools. I think we're at least as the size of Florida State for career development, just because Full Sail realizes that y'all are going to need some help in a lot of these fields to get out there and get acclimated. So we have a group of 10 folks that are looking every day. They're out there talking to companies and looking for opportunities for y'all and putting those jobs into the system. I know there's some frustration sometimes that you're not always going to see jobs for Blizzard. You're not always going to see Interscope Records jobs. But those companies are hiring, 2 or 3 times a year sometimes, and we will have those jobs when they come up. So it's a different group of opportunities every day. So I would say if you get frustrated, if you don't see what you're looking for on a Monday, don't let that stop you from going back in on Tuesday or Wednesday and looking at opportunities. I've talked to so many students and grads and like, yeah, I didn't see anything in there that was for me. So I just kind of stopped going. And I get that. I mean, if I was looking for opportunities and I went a couple of days in a row and didn't see anything that was there for me, I get it. And by the same token, if you're working with your advisor and you're like, hey, I never see opportunities for company X, or my favorite company, the company I would most want to work for is this company. Sometimes we have relationships there and they just haven't run opportunities in a while, and we could totally reboot that relationship with your resume, right? We can go in and go, hey, we just had a student come in. They really want to work with y'all. What do you think? Is there any opportunity here? And some other times y'all are just way cooler than we are and know about a company before we do. And maybe we need you to tell us that this company exists, and then we can get our team to call and start to build a relationship and go from there. So, I mean, we really do depend on our students to say, hey, you know what? These are the companies I want to work for. Hopefully we have those relationships already, but in entertainment and gaming and film, there are new companies starting up every day.
Right.
And we want to be on top of that, and it's impossible with the size of our team to have all of those companies in our bag, right? So we're going to look to y'all to share some cool stuff with us too.
Awesome. Speaking of which, I found out on an Oculus. Oculus has a couple of offices in my home state in South Carolina, and
Oh wow!
yeah, because I was like, you were talking about online students, working full-time jobs and not coming to career dev because they're trying to juggle all of these things when they graduate. I'm one of those, and that to me is a reason to go to career dev because it's like, I don't know what I'm going to do when I graduate, because I am rooted where I live. If I do have an intern, or if I do find an internship, it would have to be a paid internship because I have a family and a mortgage. And it would have to be within driving distance of where I live, which Atlanta is probably the closest to me, and that's 3 hours away.
Wow. Yeah.
So I'm kind of in a hole, in the country. And so I was looking and I found, Oculus has a office in Charleston, South Carolina, an office in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. So, those are potential employers for me. So, the hope isn't lost, but I feel like we're doing ourselves a disservice if we don't get in touch with career dev and at least start a conversation with them.
I couldn't agree more. And I think it's easier than ever. And we want to make it easier still moving forward and just, be able to offer y'all service, at any time that you need it. It might not be a live person, but at least for you to be able to have access to resources, have access to job postings, to just be able to engage, whenever the best times are for you.
Awesome. Well, that's all I have for you. Fisher, do you have anything else?
I actually do not. He covered a plethora of information that I think will be useful to not only National Society kids, but everyone, to the campus body as a whole. I wish we could like put a story up on Full Sail One and actually have this interview, because there's literally a lot of information that I'm sitting here like mentally taking notes, and I'm just like, wow, like, they can really like help people get to where they want to be. All you gotta do is just walk in the door. You know what I mean? And I feel like a lot of people, especially with like how fast things move in this program, like, new class every month for us online students and things like that. Like the what do you call it? The gears are turning so fast for this whole entire program. Sometimes we just overlook the end goal of like actually getting out and getting a job. And all these tools and tips that you gave in this interview, I think will be useful to everybody. The whole Full Sail body, all 50 million of us, whoever's at Army students there are. No, so I really don't have any other questions. You did a great job, Brad. Thank you so much for talking to us today.
Thank you. Thanks for making time for me. It's nice to meet the both of you. And yeah, whatever I can do, any follow-up questions, concerns, I'm easy to find. I'm on campus every day, in my office every day for phone calls, Zoom, whatever. I'm here to help.
Well, absolutely. And I will be scheduling my personal interview or my personal meeting with Career Dev soon, because I'm coming up on, I've got like 8 classes left. So I've got like 8 months left. So I'm coming up on it, and the anxiety is going up with it. So I will be reaching out before long to try to navigate my personal situation. And I would encourage all of our scholars and all of our students to do the same, because you want to take advantage of, you get out of college what you put into it. So you want to take advantage of every opportunity, and career development is the best opportunity to find work after school. So get in touch with them. Don't be shy. Ask your questions. I'm sure they've heard about every situation that can be heard before. So other than that, I'm going to close it out. Thank you very much, Mr. McDonald, for joining us today.
Thank you.
Thank you, Fisher. And we will see all of you next time.